It was the pound, the euro, coupled with the dollar. So that was our triad. Okay, 3 markets that are closely correlated. Dollar's going to do one thing, pound and the euro would do the opposite. And you look for that little crack in correlation. Okay, when it creates that and you have a bias and a narrative, it's easy. If you don't have that, you do nothing. Well, if you feel like you have to have a lot of markets to be tracking, see, the adage is more monitors, more markets to follow means you're professionally minded. That's horseshit. That's horseshit, and that is all image stuff, okay? The people that make the fucking money are the people that have a specialty in 1 or 2 markets, and that's it. They don't give a flying fuck what's going on in any other market. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care about who thinks their other markets that they're trading are not as good as them. Who cares? They don't care. They're making money. And when you make money, you're not going to give a flying flip what anybody else thinks about what market you should be trading to. Then you're going to understand why I was telling everybody in 2012 all the way through 2017. And yes, I knew the market was going to go up to 20,000. I told you when it was going to happen. And no, I didn't trade it. And no, I don't have a regret. I can find big moves every single year, as you're going to learn in 2023. You're not going to be subservient to anyone, least of all me. If I'm not teaching you to be independent, I'm not a good mentor. I'm not trying to be glad-handed to all of you. I have my own life. My wife wants to spend time with me, okay? I know it sounds hard to believe, but I'm a likable kind of guy, okay? In the real world, my wife wants to be with me, okay? And I'm trying to do my best to make that easy so that way I don't feel tugged back to all of you, because there's a lot of you that are struggling, I know. And it's mostly the people outside my private group. So I'm giving you a gift. Okay, I'm giving you a gift of my entire year, my focus, and I'm giving it to you for absolutely for free. And I want you all to succeed. But I want you to go in with the right mindset of knowing that you're learning how to read price, how to find setups, and then you're going to find what market you like. And you're not going to give a shit about which one I'm trading. You may learn by using the ES and the NASDAQ this year with me, and you say, you know what, I'm going to take what I learned and I'm going to go right back to the euro dollar. Well, God bless you if that's what you're going to do. That's fine. Don't let me tell you otherwise. I personally don't want to touch Forex, and I've touched on the reasons why the entirety of this year. But if you feel comfortable taking on that risk, don't let anybody change your mind about it. Don't feel any kind of adversity or second guessing, nothing. None of that should have any influence on your decision making on what markets you're going to trade. Because I'm telling you, the richest people in these markets are the ones that have 1 or 2 markets at best. The biggest guys out there that trade just stocks, they only have a handful of stocks. And when I say handful, 2, 3, maybe 4 at most. But they know those fucking stocks like the back of their hands. They know the highs and the lows of yesterday, 3 days ago. They know those markets. They know them. They live and breathe them. You want to be a specialist. That lesson, one of the folks that have blessed me this holiday season, there's so many of you, and I just want to add this in here. I've received a lot of cards, letters. I've received gifts. Some of them are very, very nice. Too much, really, for me. I was very surprised to see some of the stuff that you guys sent to me. One of the individuals sent me a DVD version of Larry Williams' course. I told you about coming up. I had a VHS 4 tape thing from him. And I had an opportunity to sit down with Caleb in our theater, and I played it. The transfer from VHS to what they did when they dubbed it, it's not as clear as I remember the VHS being. It is what it is, right? But watching it, and I could say verbatim what he was going to say beforehand, and Caleb was like, man, when's the last time you watched this? I said, honestly, like 18 years, maybe 19 years. That's a long time to know still verbatim what the man's going to say. That's how many times I watched it. So when he talked about the section in there to be a specialist, I turned to my son, Caleb. I said, can you see where I got that from? Now, when I first heard him say this in 1995, that's when I bought that VHS course. He made the video course in August of 1994 in a little workshop that he filmed. with trade wins. And then it was put on the market. And because I bought this Yahoo's course, that caused me to lose my money, not knowing what the hell I was doing, taking stupid gambling and an orange juice option. By buying that guy's course, the mailing list that he was building, Larry Williams was a purchaser of it. And then I ended up getting Larry Williams shit sent to me in the mail. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to buy his stuff. He made $10,000 turn to $1.2 million in a year. Hey, I want to learn from that guy. And then when I listened to him say this particular thing in 1995, now mind you, this is the third year of my trading coming up. And the things that course and the subsequent interest in buying every book that he put out, that particular moment where he says in that course that I was listening to him when my son and I were listening to it just a week ago. He says, you want to be a specialist. When I first heard it in 1995, it went in one ear out the other. Because in my mind, what I took away from his course and his materials was, all right, what Larry's telling me as a fledgling student is I need to be in here trading every one of these fucking markets, and I'm going to catch all the big moves. I'm going to be in every one of them. If coffee's going to go up, I'm going to be in that one. If sugar's going to be, I'm going to be in all of them. But I didn't have the margin to be in any of those. I had to be out of certain markets because I didn't have enough money in my account to even meet the initial margin to trade them. When I first started trading, I didn't have enough margin to even touch an S&P contract. Think about that. And here I was, 20-some years old, thinking, I got to watch all these markets. And I literally was updating the charts for palladium and platinum, pork bellies. What? But that's how I was. I was going hard. I wanted to make sure nobody was going to question me and my tenacity and my desire to be good at this. And I didn't listen. I did not listen to what that man said in that freaking video that